Alrighty, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an anime story podcast. Hey, how are you guys doing today?
Hello.
Let me make sure that this is right. How did this happen again? Oh my god. We're all switched around.
Oh, we're switched.
Okay, hang on, let me fix it. Hi, so I'm
the most fun.
the big bad moon right here. I'm gonna go ahead and move over here. Just below me right now is Helen 3D, but she's gonna come up here. And now, hang on, just below me is yes.
You want to go by big or bad or moon?
There's so many options here, really.
Because he's strategy. So if you go by bad, he has to go by strategy.
I'm big.
Okay. Well,
And he's bad.
I mean,
There was not tons of forethought in this.
Not. I'm just,
Yeah.
No. So
So hi, so I'm the big bad moon right over on the right. We have Helen 3D.
let's open with the movies. The OVAs.
and
I
bad
watched
strategy.
half of one of.
He is just below me. We're going to be talking about ReZero today. Let me make sure the sound is working appropriately. Yep, looks like it's great. Alrighty.
Decided bad.
Yes, he is. So, yes, we watched ReZero. It's a time travel anime in a fantasy universe, or a part of the isekai genre. Otherworld.
The protagonist is spirited away.
Yes, exactly. So, we're just going to jump right into it. Bad.
Can't handle you right now.
I understand. So there's a show, and there are two films, or two movies rather, and I think that's
Yes.
it. Oh, and then it was originally this was a light novel. Is that correct?
I'm gonna check.
I
What's Wikipedia says?
What does Wikipedia say?
Original run, 2012 of a novel series, 2014 of the light novel, 2014 of the manga, 2014 of the manga.
I know spoilers.
There's
I'm not
gonna be
gonna say
there's
'em.
gonna be lots of spoilers. We're gonna talk about it. If you don't want
Yes,
spoilers,
I haven't seen it.
go watch it. No, but really, go watch it. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
So, the OVA, the two movies that they popped out with, I only watched half of the first one. I didn't watch Frozen Bond. I watched half of the other one. They don't seem to have any material beforehand. They didn't come from web novel or manga for ReZero. I think they just hired some writers and were like, okay, write us something with these characters that we can just put out here because we haven't gotten the series out yet.
Yes,
And
so
why
that's
I think they're bad.
okay. So
Okay.
that being said, mostly we're going to talk about the series.
Mostly.
But we can touch on the movies.
Look, I can complain about things I
But
didn't watch.
okay, here, you know what though? Let's save the movies for a little bit later until we've actually gone into the show, because that's the thing that we're going to be discussing.
Hold on. Take notes.
Yes. So the show. So ReZero. Isekai genre. Am I pronouncing that right? Isekai.
Yeah.
So Isekai, the otherworld genre. Basically, the shtick of the genre is a person is transported into a magical place, a magical land like Narnia
Well, he's at, like,
or
a
something like
gas
that.
station, and
Yeah, he's
then,
like at a gas station.
He blinks because he's like overtired, and he like blinks, and then it's like, and he's like in a new world.
Right.
So
So
we don't really know what happens to him. We don't
Yeah,
know
he
if
just-
he
They're
gets hit
witch
by a
hands.
truck.
They're
We
witch-
don't-
Witch hands.
But we don't know. Like, he could have been so tired he got hit by a truck, and then
that's
so
true.
we
saw
don't
witch
know.
hands.
What was
saw him
what
witch hand.
what was
No. There's
Konosuba.
no reason to think he was hit by a truck.
How do you
can't
know?
just
Ko-
call
How
that
do you
cliche.
know?
They don't
Konosuba?
use that cliche.
No, but they don't use any cliche.
They
just,
use witch hands. They use little creepy black hands.
but you don't know why. Why him? Why was he? I don't know.
Okay, so
just
let's.
saying.
So in the show, main character, Subaru, he is at a gas station, and suddenly, boom, he appears in magical Fantasyland at the market. He then encounters a number of characters where he ends up running into one of the main girls, this woman who, what is her name again? I can't remember.
Amelia.
Amelia, yes, that was
Amelia.
Amelia. She's all right. She's okay.
Rude.
I know.
Rude.
So I like her, Amelia. She's okay. Puck is awesome.
Rude.
Amelia's okay. Puck's awesome. So runs into this girl who saves his life, and then he goes and enters a dark tavern where he is murdered horribly.
It's not a tavern, it's a loot house.
It's a loot house. Whatever. So where he's murdered horribly, and then he
It's a fence.
takes way too long to realize that in fact he has died and gone back in time and restarted where he began in the fantasy world. So basically we find that every single time the character dies, Subaru dies, he then wakes up a couple days or several hours earlier. He kind of has checkpoints.
Die and then re-wake. You're like, ow.
Right. So kind of like a video game save point. But it's definitely really horrific when he dies because he dies horribly, and that's kind of interesting. Like it would be like that shit's mess you up. Tell you what, that was quite believable.
It is a great implementation of time travel.
Very good.
I
Then
will also say now, the writer does an excellent job of preventing power creep. Of every time Subaru gets a power, there is something that prevents it from being overpowered, and as he gets used to his powers, something comes in to prevent it from being overpowered.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
So basically, then Subaru has to encounter a number of mysteries. And especially the first half of the season, there are a number of mystery. It's very mystery story. There's the first 2 story arcs. It's very mystery oriented. Because you're trying to figure out what's going on, how's he going to solve it, who's he have to talk to, who's the horrible thing that murdered him, and so it's a matter of him problem solving or his way out of the situation he's in, and that's basically the shtick for the first season, is his continual loops trying to figure out how to either not die or prevent other people from dying. By repeating the days.
The format lends itself very, very well to time travel. Time travel always great for mysteries. I also think there's something the writer does that's very intentional. Is each section of the story, they will be okay, we changed locations and we're gonna change the set of characters the protagonist can interact with, and we're gonna focus on these characters. And then when you change locations again, new set of characters. It's very, the writing feels very intentional. There's also a lot of subtle foreshadowing and good stuff. If you've seen it before and you watch it again, you're like, oh, that's a thing.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a detail.
They were totally foreshadowing him getting murdered horribly.
I love when you can go back and watch an anime and see that.
Oh yeah.
Because when you go back and watch an anime and it's the same thing, you're like, okay, there's no forethought.
Yeah.
But when you go back and you're like, ha, oh, I catch that now. Oh. I think it makes it that much more better. You're like,
yeah. Oh yeah, no, totally.
Certainly, yeah.
What was the thing we were there was something. Oh, I don't remember. Yeah, there was some kind of thing we had watched it, and then we watched another episode of it, maybe it was when we started rewatching it. Okay. So we'll get into this thing about the director's cut in a minute, but we watched the original series, the original 24 episodes or whatever it was.
Yep.
And
25. I think it's
25.
It's 25.
And then afterwards, we were going to watch the director's cut. So, and then I think it was in the director's cut, or with the first episode of the director's cut.
About the first part.
So we noticed something where some character, I don't even remember what it was, some character did something, and we're like, wait a minute, he's totally foreshadowing this thing that's going to happen way later on. So we're really great. That was really lovely. The director's cut. the director's cut. So the director's cut is is it 13 episodes?
Yes.
So the director's cut.
Because it's 2 per, so it's an hour long.
I went through a big list of everything they changed in the director's cut.
Oh, did you?
Yes,
I'm
I did.
excited.
So what they did is they took, instead of having 25 episodes, they took 2 episodes, cut them together, took out the credits and stuff, and have 1 episode. The vast majority, 99% of the stuff that was changed was redoing art. They re-recorded some of the voice acting, and they changed some. A couple of the episodes later on, they changed some angles around on the cameras. They do less foreshadowing, more foreshadowing,
and they have perspective.
The vast majority of the editing was adding 2 or 3 seconds on to a cut or extending a character pause. There's 1 scene added in at the very end in the last episode that rolls after the credits. It's a 4-minute scene. So
I think
Wait, Sam said, didn't you say that was in the original? Okay.
It's in the web novel. I'm not sure if that's the.
That is the thing.
I feel like the foreshadowing, they did it before the cut. So before the credits, they actually said what they said. I can't remember right though.
So I'm gonna spoil this.
Okay.
The 1 scene that was added in the director's cut was the very last episode. And after the credits, there was a scene where they're riding in the. Where they're like, Rem? Well, who's Rem? They're riding in the wagon, and that whole scene was new.
But Sam argued with me that it wasn't. So.
That it wasn't in the. Or that it was in the original?
He argued with me. I thought it wasn't in there, but he said he might be wrong.
That's the one thing. Now, I guess I'd have to go back and find the original first or last episode, but I don't remember it.
It's wrong. Stop it, guys.
So I really like what they did with the director's cut. They cleaned everything up. They added pauses and extended things, extended moments to help display character motivation, to help flesh out the characters a bit better. I think there is a big problem with the director's cut, and it's that it's called a director's cut.
I agree.
Yeah, that's fair.
Why
though?
It's
Why does
not.
It matter?
Well, because it changes people's expectations, and if you have the wrong expectations, you're going to be disappointed when they're not met. Because the director's cut is a recutting, but this isn't a recutting. This is a cleanup. It's just a general improvement. They're cleaning up all the issues. They're improving a few scenes with like the foreshortening and the perspective, and they're adding in that little bit of a what is it? Cliffhanger.
The cliffhanger at the very end. Yeah, and I think that. Go ahead.
I also think the cliffhanger at the end is a little bit it would have been great with the original release, but I actually think it's kind of awkward now, and maybe it's to get people excited a little bit for the new thing.
It's the manga.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. It's in the manga.
No, the new ending follows the manga. That's why they had it. Because I think they were planning on actually using it in the original.
Right, and I assume
that's why it's a director's cut.
I mean,
I assume that it was all going to happen in the next season, but that they just decided to tease it.
That's one of the first things that happens in the next season. I do think it's a weird time. It's a little bit of a weird time for a cliffhanger.
Oh, maybe they did it because they knew they were going to get another season. Maybe they waited to put the cliffhanger in there because they found out they were getting another season.
Yeah, that would make sense to me.
That could make sense.
So
I don't know.
So as far as the director's cut goes, I think calling it a director's cut is, it's just not really a good way to phrase it. Because when you watch a director's cut of any movie, you're going to get deleted scenes, you're going to get extended scenes, you're going to get a lot of, or not even a lot of, but just extra stuff. There's going to be a couple things that are going to change the story, and maybe originally the stuff was cut out to make the movie better. Like, for instance, in the movie Alien, in the director's cut, you have a deleted scene where Ripley goes into the middle of the ship and there's slime all over the walls. But they cut it out because it didn't fit with the pace of the movie, and the pace of that scene. It was too much of a lull.
So,
Helen?
Trewa says, do you think the phrasing was lost or different coming from Japanese?
It's a translation thing. It's a translation.
Maybe, but that's also like
Yeah.
That's also like the. It's the worst thing because every time we watch an anime, I make that joke whenever anything doesn't make sense.
I always watch sub, and I never watch dub, so there's very few.
Sometimes the subbing makes a lot less sense than the dubbing.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
agree with that, but maybe it's because I've started understanding Japanese. Like, I'll look at a phrasing, and I'm like, she didn't say that. She said what?
The movie. In the movie, I only watched half of it, admittedly, but it was subbed, and the subbing was ridiculous. Instead of talking about his date with Amelia,
remember
he
that
talked about his appointment with Amelia.
Yeah.
The subbing and then what was beautiful was it subbed the English things he said. So he would be like shouting things in English, and the subbing wouldn't match what he was saying even remotely. It was like,
English.
Is this like?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was really funny.
Yes, and that was in the movie you were saying.
Admittedly, I was left like, okay, this didn't need to exist.
I think both the OVAs, which I haven't seen the second one, and I've only seen half of the first one.
I saw all the first one, but I admit that.
I think they're both like trying to. You haven't
even seen the second. You can't talk on the second one.
Yeah, jeez.
Okay, look. I acknowledge that. I've also read online what it says it's about.
Oh, really?
I think optimistically, they are trying to fill the gap between the first and second season for fans, and pessimistically, they're kind of trying to just cash out and get extra money.
No, that's fair. I don't feel like.
I think the big issue is
like, how do you mean cash out? I mean, everybody's watching this on streaming services anyway.
Well, and this is one of those things like with an OVA. So it's an OVA movie. It's not going to be as good as the main story.
Streaming services,
right? It's not going to be as good as it's probably not going to be as good as the main series. You know, if it's bad, people will just be like, well, the movie was bad, but the series is good. It's kind of a no-lose situation for them.
You just kind of cut it out.
Yeah. I would recommend people skip them.
I would too.
I would agree with that.
They don't have any source material from the original
at least the
writer.
First one. I can't speak on the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It seems like they don't have any source material from the original writer, and the impression I have is that the characters in them are just caricatures.
Yeah, they are.
And they don't
I agree with that.
They don't behave realistically to how I'd expect those characters to behave.
They don't follow their motives.
They act like I'd expect the characters to act as written by someone who heard secondhand about the characters.
Yeah.
Like Telephone, where somebody's playing the caricature of somebody else. They're like, oh, I'm going to pretend to be this person.
Yeah, and that's and inevitably that's what you're going to get out of that kind of thing, right? You know, because you're probably not going to have your main writing staff who's doing the show work on the movie unless it's something that they've already had ideas for.
But for this one, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the reason we didn't try to watch the second one is because I was concerned it might be Amelia's backstory from the novel after that,
and I didn't want to watch it.
I just didn't watch it either.
Yeah.
Well, and I was saying I didn't want to watch it because it was going to be Amelia's backstory,
I had no reason. I just didn't get to it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I did.
Yeah.
But
what did you guys think of the music?
I like the music. Do I have any specific thoughts on the music?
What do you think of the Battle of the White Whale?
Stressful.
I think.
No.
I'm okay with the Battle of the White Whale. I think it's one of the less interesting things. I don't like. It doesn't.
Stressful, Sam says. Oh, who said that? Oh. Big, you said stressful.
I just don't want to forget Rim again. That's all. That's all.
Also, I think us seeing the scenes in the order we did was a little awkward, because it was like there was a big gap between finishing the series and seeing the spoiler scene again. I think.
Yeah, I agree with that.
People who have already watched the original run are going to have a hard time if they have to watch the director's cut.
Yeah, I was just
the opposite, because I watched the director's cut before I rewatched it, and I really liked it because I felt like it was a fresh view, and I felt like there were things in it that I had forgotten that I feel like were more prominent.
So what is the timeline here? When did you watch the original, and when did you watch
As it was coming out? I watched
Okay.
ReZero as it was coming out, and then I saw the director's cut.
If you haven't seen ReZero in like the last year, absolutely watch the director's cut.
Totally. Yep.
If you've seen ReZero recently, I don't think you should watch the director's cut.
No,
that's what I mean.
It is
like back to back.
It is something that I feel like if you watched ReZero, the regular ReZero show, and then immediately watched ReZero director's cut, you may very well be like, did anything change at all? Because the only edits are scene change. Like you might be like, okay, they smushed 2 episodes together, but the only edits are there's one episode where they did a lot of perspective stuff where they just changed the camera around and stuff.
Which can make a huge difference, and so can music
and
sound.
I think it's quality improvement.
Yeah, no, it's quality improvement, but nothing else happened. There's no
expansion of what's there. It's improving what's there.
And something we were talking about is if they had changed more in the same way, like if they had done more of that work on, not that they needed it, I think it was really good, but if they had done more like animation modification for the other episodes, and it wasn't just because I think there were maybe 2-3 episodes that were midway through the second half of the season or the second half of the show. If they had done more of that, then it would be pretty solid to call it a remastering. But there wasn't quite enough of it for me to be like remaster.
I think part of the issue is that we don't really have an industry term for like clean up.
It's cleaned up, like, changed a couple things.
They just made it generally better. They ran it through a couple of passes, and they were like,
better. It looks crisper, cleaner.
And really like up like episode 1 through 6 of the director's cut, which is the first 12 episodes of the show, pretty much unchanged except for some like minor, like there's 2 more seconds on this shot, or there's a half a second longer pause here.
I think
that can make all the difference.
The closest
if you think about it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the extensions they added were good, and they were beneficial because they helped to reflect the characters better.
I think it helps ground a scene because I feel like it feels less rushed because you're like sitting in the moment. So I don't know. That's just my personal.
No, I think the hour format's better.
The closest term we might have might be remastered. Yeah. But I don't really think
it's not quite. It's too extensive.
It's too extensive.
And then they changed the music. Like some of the I remember one of the changes was in one of the episodes they had a different song playing in the end credits or something like that.
Can I? Okay.
Yes.
So. When we watched this again, I had forgotten things. So
yeah, exactly.
We got in like, I think we were 4 episodes in, and I was like, Big, I don't hate Subaru. I don't understand.
What? Like,
Well,
I thought I hated him.
You did. You talked about it last time. You were like, he's whiny, man.
Like 12 episodes in, I'm like, I love Subaru. He's a great character. I'm into him. He's good.
That's wonderful.
So, I really enjoyed the crap out of this show, as a general statement. Time travel, that's great, and they did it really well. I think the first half of this,
no contradictions.
Exactly, that's perfect.
It never happens.
The first half of the show, I think, is excellent, just really good. It's exciting. It's mysterious. It's fun. You're trying to solve the problems along with the main character. You're because you're talking about like who killed him? Like, why did they kill him?
How is he gonna be able to? Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think one of my favorite character arcs ever. Well, not maybe ever. In any case. And this is, and I think you can see it when you look around online for people talking about it. The character Rim. Everybody loves.
Google image search Rim.
Don't Google image search Rim. You don't want to do that. Right? So, okay. This was so well done. I loved it.
I love when she brutally kills him too. It's wonderful.
Right? So here's to go over this, and I think probably everybody who's watched ReZero is just in general likes Rim as a character. If not, is like, oh my god, Rim is waifu ultimate, whatever.
That might be the more common reaction.
Yeah, that might be the more common reaction. But so she's a really good character, and I think this is my opinion on why she is a really good character.
Waifu.
Oh, careful. Well, actually, I have to think about that. So, actually, no, I know who waifu is.
Or best girl.
And I know who best girl is.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, so Rem is a character that, when we start out, well, so she doesn't actually appear until the second arc, which is the second
arc being very short.
The first arc's very short. It's 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And then from episodes, I believe, like 4 till episode 12. And this is the regular. We're talking about the regular series. Is the I'm going to call it the mansion arc. The manor arc.
The mansion arc.
So.
Yeah. I think in the web novel it's like that's Act 2.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So.
Okay, that makes sense.
Rim is a character that when we meet her, she is kind of. I mean, she's the butler, right? She's a butler. She's a maid.
Butler maid.
Butler maid, whatever. She has a maid outfit. So, and she is a little bit of a background character, and pretty quickly we realize she's a more significant character. And then she's a character that's Subaru's interacting with, and I think it's over a couple of episodes. We're getting to know her a little bit more. We're getting to hear what her actual story is. And then we find out that Rem is one of the characters, and I don't remember what episode this, but she is one of the characters that ends up brutally murdering the main character, Subaru. And suddenly she's like a terrifying, she's like a monster, because she's actually a monster. She's a demon. So we have a character that goes from
demi-human. Respect.
Oh yeah, demi-human. I apologize. So she goes from a character that is kind of an interesting insight into the world. We hear her talk about a little story of or some fairy tale. We are with her while Subaru is kind of exploring the mansion a little bit and kind of getting more into the world because he's just made it to the mansion. Helen, I cannot hear you if you're talking. You might be muted.
I'm not talking to you.
Okay. Fine. I didn't want to talk to you either. So then
I was asking Sam a question.
That's fair. So we take this character all the way from a character that we don't know and we're getting into the world, then suddenly is like a horrible monster and absolutely hates Subaru, and one of the things our main character is worried about is that he is going to be horribly murdered by this character. So this is as antagonistic as you can get to the main character without actively hunting him, and he does that a couple of times. She does that a couple of times. Then through the course of this arc,
sorry, I skipped ahead.
You did skip ahead. It's okay. Through the course of this arc we're talking about, the manor, she starts to understand Subaru. Begins to respect him, and then begins to respect him and think of him as someone who's trustworthy and a friend, and who is worthy of also protecting. And she goes out of her way and risks her life to save him at the end of this arc. So you have a character who's made this enormous arc of being from someone who's literally going to disembowel
She
him.
murders him.
Like,
so
horribly
with a
murders him.
Morningstar. Like, she has 2
Yeah.
morning stars where she just, like, it's horrible.
And it's delightful. And she comes all the way from
Also,
that to being somebody who is risking her life against like horrible things
clean,
to save him.
violent animation with a flail.
My gosh!
And the
yes.
pink highlights on the flail for the win.
Oh my yeah. Mhm. Oh, I
Yeah.
agree.
Oh yeah, no.
I think this
The
is
animation
this is
does
also
sell
why sometimes really good villains end up being so beloved, because if you have a character that you like
Wrong and that much of a villain that turns out to be like in love with you.
Right. And this is a thing where over the course of her arc we get to understand why she is doing the thing she's doing. Right? What is the thing, like, why is she in the manor? Why is she protecting this person? Why does she feel the way she feels? And then, because of her expanding understanding of who Subaru is and what he wants and of the situation, her motivations and her character motivation lines up with Subaru and also starts to include him in the group that she wants to protect.
You know what we didn't get enough of? Biyoko.
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
She was great. She was a wonderful character.
Beatrice.
But
Biyoko.
Beatrice.
Biyoko.
Oh, whatever. Beatrice.
I
I'm
can.
gonna call her Bees.
I can.
Or Betty.
Cliffhanger. Biyoko.
So can
Cliffhanger.
I.
We get Biyoko's backstory and her character arc in the next season.
That would be lovely. She was a character I really enjoyed.
Did you read the web novel or?
I read, yeah.
That's awesome.
So I know who she is.
Oh,
I know why she's
shit.
stuck in the manor.
She's got all the info.
Subaru shows up.
Pleb.
I'm not giving up too much.
Should we address Amelia? Because I think a lot of people don't like Amelia.
Love
Okay.
Amelia.
So, okay. No. Here's the thing, and I don't. It's not. So I like Amelia. Amelia is a good character, and I actually think that maybe it would be. Well, so I think probably one of the reasons that a lot of people don't like Amelia. I don't know if I'd say that they dislike her, but we just don't get as much of her as we really need, and she doesn't have like her story is not driven by her motivation. Usually when we're interacting with her, it's Subaru chasing her in some way, and so we really don't.
She doesn't want to be seen.
Right.
She really doesn't want to be a part of this process.
She's
she
a little
knows she
passive.
needs to be,
Yeah,
but
she's
very passive.
Yeah, we don't get her story fleshed out, so she's just very much a passive character because of that.
And she's
getting
fun.
Typecast as an elf, like half elf. She's half witch, so she's worried everybody hates her. Like, and there is this overlying hate that's happening around her.
Admittedly, I also I don't think Amelia is important to any of the arcs, really. She's not the focus other than the first arc. In the first 3 episodes it focuses on Amelia.
Fair.
After that she's largely in the background with a few moments where she's more prominent.
Yeah, the mansion stuff. I think that's more of like a rom-com with him. Like with Subaru.
And
she's more of for the romance side of it. She's not really a part of the mansion stuff that's happening. She doesn't matter.
And she definitely has potential, but like generally speaking, because of the way she's written the story, you could kind of replace her with a different character and it wouldn't really change anything.
I do think that she has a function within the narrative.
Huh.
I think she works within the narrative. I think she does what she's supposed to do, and I think she does it well. I just think that the people who don't like her because they like Grimm a lot more, or because they like not much Amelia appeared. But I don't think the absence of Amelia, the limited amount of Amelia, is because of any
it makes a
mistake
big impact
or
in the next arc.
Yeah, it's not because of any mistake or lack of intention from the writer. I think I think if the writer intentionally is like, we'll put a little bit of Amelia in, but
that's
not
it's just not where they were spending their time. You know, they just didn't spend screen time.
With her, I mean, I think it makes a huge difference going into the third arc, just because I feel like when you go into the third arc, Amelia, they made a promise. He had this kind of like relationship with her, and he loses that in the third arc. He doesn't get any of that, and now all of a sudden she's kind of against him in a way.
And he also turns into an asshole.
Well, yeah, there's that too. But there's still this like, I had this with her and now I don't. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing here? And like, he is selfish and he is being an ass. But she can call him out on it because she doesn't have this history with him that we were given in the second arc.
Right.
And so I think that kind of nullifies it. I mean, I'm kind of talking over myself here. But...
Well, and this is interesting because I think this is probably is the thing that for me is probably the weakest point of the show is Subaru's motivation for Amelia, because it's very thin. He starts out, he meets her, he ends up trying to save her amulet, and it's like, okay, I guess he just really likes her, and that's what is driving him a lot of the time. And then of course we get the mystery and he's trying to solve the mystery, but in the end what he's trying to move towards is helping Amelia. So that for me was like, I mean, I guess so. You just met her. You know, you've gone back in time a few times.
Rem is much stronger.
Oh yeah, he develops a much more complex and interesting relationship with Rem.
I also don't think so. I agree, but I don't think he could have had the same motivation towards Rem, because I think what draws him to Amelia specifically, like that she is like too nice, that she like does the right thing, that like she can't really look out for herself because she's naive and she's overly kind. And I don't think he could have had that kind of interaction with Rem.
And he keeps failing, and so when he fails, he wants to be strong for somebody. And I think he feels that because she's so frail, he needs to be that strength.
Yeah, no,
for
it's
her.
definitely like a protective desire that he has towards Amelia that doesn't get a huge amount of focus, though.
Yeah. It works. It works as a thing that, you know, he's, you know, because ultimately I feel like that's kind of hard. Like, you drop this kid into the fantasy world and like, what's he want?
I don't think it's so terrible how it's done. I think like it's fairly weak, but I think it's functional as a motivation. Right.
Well, and so this is something the comments is saying. Now, and this is with respect to his motivation. I think at the end of the show, he does, as much as his faults were really frustrating for like 5 episodes, he does have growth, because that thing that's driving him, he gets really locked onto and just becomes kind of an asshole about it. But his character growth is tied to that and how he reacts to it.
We also...
I think it was really strong.
We also get Subaru's backstory in the next.
Do we? I would love to hear that. That sounds very interesting. I think that'd speak to him a lot.
So that means somebody knows who the white whale actually is. And was talking shit.
Well, fancy that.
Shit. Anyway, Chaos also said Rem for life, so yes.
That's true. She's a wonderful character. It's great, and I think that the arc, like, that's so much travel.
I love Ram's chi. Rem, I love how Ram hates him no matter what. Ram is like, okay, you went over my sister, fuck you. Like, even though I'm going along with it, and yes, I agree with you, I still think you're a fucking asshole.
Yeah, they're good characters. I think there are a lot of good characters. Again, I wish
they balance really well.
I wish we had more Beatrice.
Oh God, yeah, but we will.
And first half Subaru is so likable.
Totally.
Like,
oh yeah.
Radio calisthenics.
Oh yeah, that's delightful and fun.
At the end.
Absolutely.
Oh yes, and the interaction, absolutely wonderful. The interaction between Subaru during the Manor arc and Puck.
Oh my god, yeah.
They're just
Oh, yeah.
bros immediately.
Dude, Puck was so
my
fun.
God.
Oh my god,
What-
when Amelia dies and Puck becomes this big monster thing, like, what the fuck?
Seriously.
Like, I
yeah.
still don't get that.
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm
Yeah, no,
like,
that was fun.
whoa.
That was fun. And Puck,
Whoa, beast, whoa, calm.
it's funny. It's fun that they have such a good, like, natural character interaction between each other, just like right off the bat. Except, I will say,
They have Puck soft kitty.
yeah, exactly,
Everybody's
because
fighting over soft kitty.
it's adorable. It really works, and that is actually one of the things that I think really helps with Subaru's relationship with Amelia, because his relationship with Amelia is kind of tied in a tertiary way to Puck. You can't have Amelia there without Puck, unless it's nighttime.
Yeah, there's a great moment where it's like Puck says something about the like Amelia says that her best friend is Puck and she's Puck's best friend, and Subaru's like, but where does that leave me? And then Puck crosses his arms and says, nowhere. Subaru like falls devastated. It's so
It's just great.
wonderful. It's wonderful.
And
Their fight together is great.
it's so heartfelt.
But then he's like, rub kitty. And the cat's like, fuck you. But yeah.
Yeah. So wonderful character.
That's
though.
like my cat. My cat's like, fuck you, but I want rubs.
That's not.
Do you have any thoughts? Do either of you have any thoughts on the cliffhanger? Because I don't know if we really discussed it. Of Rim's disappearance. Turns out she's gone again. Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
yeah. So basically, if you don't recall this, it's
I can't say
when
anything because I know too much.
oh. So when Rim fights, when they first fight the whale, the sky whale. What is it? The smoke
white whale.
The white whale. It shoots a blast of like smoke and wind at her, and it erases her from the timeline, basically. So everybody, he's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that happened to Rem," and everybody's like, "Who's Rem?" Nobody remembers Rem because it destroys everyone's memories, and so they fix that, and Rem's back. The fog, that was it. And at the end of the show, this is in the last, the director's cut deleted scene.
If the fog gets them, they're erased from everyone's memory. Even the people who weren't in the fog, they get erased from the universe.
Mm-hmm. And this is in the deleted scene in the last episode of the director's cut, the little scene after the credits where he's like, "Oh my God, Rim said this," and Amelia goes, "Who's Rim?" And it's like, "Damn it, we just got her back." This is just the worst.
He's at the point where he can't go back either. So he doesn't.
Is he?
Even, yeah.
So it's not clear, but the viewer can infer it because it's like he finished everything, so he's probably at a checkpoint.
Right. That's how checkpoints work,
at a
right?
Checkpoint. If he goes back, he could fuck everything up.
Right.
So if he goes back and saves her, then where does that leave everything else? So it kind of fucks everything because he doesn't really know where he can go or what even happened to Rem, because all we know is that she was headed back to the capital.
Right. Oh, that was so stressful.
I know. Shush.
When Rem disappeared
Also,
the first time.
Something, just to put it in everyone's brain, that happens that is totally in the background that no one notices. Reinhard is Reinhard von Astrea.
Okay.
And Wilhelm is Wilhelm von Astrea. And I think Reinhard is the current sword. What is the title? I want to say
Master Swordsman,
Saint, but I know that's wrong.
It's Master Swordsman.
Like, Master Swordsman. Reinhard's the current Master Swordsman. Sword Saint is used in so many manga.
Yeah,
like,
no, for sure.
Not. He's the current Master Swordsman, and Reinhard was married to the previous Master Swordsman.
Kiddo?
That just confuses me. Maybe,
so,
yeah.
They're related.
They're
related in the title of Master Swordsman.
I mean, he does have red hair, and the mom does have, well, not
unless
mom,
unless
I'm
like
guessing.
unless like Von Astrea means Master Swordsman or something. I don't know.
It doesn't mean Master Swordsman.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
What does it mean?
It's
What does it mean?
I don't know, but I know it's their name.
Right, but what if it's a name that means Master Swordsman?
It doesn't mean.
Got him.
Well, I mean, that's an interesting concept. I never thought about that.
Yeah, no, that was interesting.
And
I definitely
really
didn't
liked
notice
the
that the first time.
Master Swordsman. He was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I liked.
Oh,
his
yeah, and
track.
Wilhelm.
I liked
Yeah.
where he went with that and how I loved getting his backstory.
It means
I thought that was
Astra.
really cool.
Astra?
Astra.
As
It's a different spelling of
as
Astra.
in like Latin
Stars, I think.
stars.
Oh my hell! Now I gotta look this shit up.
Oh dear. Thank you, Google. Thank you.
Which is interesting to consider because there's a character in the show named Beetlejuice, which is always mispronounced.
Oh yeah, they call him Betel.
Betelgeuse.
Didn't they call him like
Betelgeuse?
Betelgeuse?
Betelgeuse.
Betelgeuse Romani Conti.
I don't know. The master of sloth. He's sloth. He's the Archbishop of Sloth.
Something else to draw attention to. Well, should I?
Should you draw attention?
So the witch's influence is getting stronger over the course of the series.
Right.
Like initially, Subaru doesn't even really see the witch when he returns by death, and by the end of it, he's like full-on witch groping. Presumably, it is the witch, because it's the Witch of Envy's
Right.
odor every time he returns by death.
But yeah, I don't know.
Colin, did you look up? Did you read that, or did you look that up?
Uh-oh, we're waiting. Something.
Okay, I'm good.
Did you read
Yes.
that, or did you look that up?
Sam looked it up for me.
Oh, nice.
Damn it,
I wish
Sam!
I
That's
had
called
an
a
assistant.
spoiler.
Damn it, Sam!
So that was the Witch of Envy
Damn it,
thing.
damn it.
The Witch of Envy thing was a nice thing to tie the whole story together. You know, it was a nice little bit that just kind of connected everything because it's a consistent thing that is always going on. Except for the first few episodes, but I think you get a few shots of the hands. But it is a thing that is a consistent plot thread throughout the entire story. That is a mystery, and that's kind of nice because you're always kind of wondering who's the Witch of Envy. Is Amelia the Witch of Envy? Is the Witch of Envy some other person?
Yeah, because that's a great theory. That is like the theory that I think a lot of people have. That's like, okay, Amelia's the Witch of Envy and time travel.
And time travel. So, totally, Amelia is going to turn into the Witch of Envy. And then in the future go into the past and be the Witch of Envy?
Right?
Time travel's fun.
Time travel is fun.
But,
the next arc,
No,
in case you were wondering, people, the next arc is another mystery arc,
which would be great.
I think it's pretty mystery heavy.
The first two arcs were wonderful.
And
third arc was
for all
mediocre.
the people who think we didn't get enough focus on the witch and the main storyline, that gets fleshed out in the next arc.
That'll be fun. I'm excited about that. As far as music goes, I think I enjoyed the music. I don't think any of the music put me off. I thought it was pretty good. Nothing pops out to me just this moment.
We had really satisfying. Right.
I think the tone of the mystery stuff was probably one of the major strong points for me. Mansion arc, super mysterious. Someone's trying to kill the character, and you don't know who it is. And there's all these different characters you've met, and you like all of them, or you like some of them. The whole mystery of it, I think, was a lot of fun.
I agree.
After that, go ahead.
I love this implementation of time travel.
Yeah,
It's a really
totally.
really
It lends
solid
itself super well to
implementation.
mystery.
Also, the writer is very aware of what's happening. Like in the Manor arc, Subaru in like the first few, he opens up a lot more, but it doesn't change. Like the characters around him don't change, and this is a point of like friction and difficulty for him. Because, like, the first time he calls Amelia by a nickname, he's like, oh, sorry, just, like, forget I said anything. And then by the final loop of the Mansion arc, he's, like, loudly proclaiming it.
Right. No, and that was super good.
The other thing I like is the consequence of him trying to tell anybody that he's dying.
Right.
Like, go ahead.
Amelia getting killed in that one arc when he tried to tell her was like the greatest. Yeah, Because then you're like, oh my god.
Oh my god, it's killing other people. He can't do that. She can't do that.
They cheated. You
Yeah,
can't, that's
no,
not-
totally. That was quite good.
Oh,
Just in general, I think a very well constructed story, well constructed characters. Lots of different characters that were fun. I wish we had more time with almost all the characters.
Betelgeuse. That, like, I didn't know how he was gonna be Betelgeuse. Like that,
Right.
like I was like, how? Because like Betelgeuse takes him over, right? So like,
Right.
how do you beat that? And so like, really liked the way they wrapped that up. Because
Right.
he was like, oh, I expected more from me.
Yeah,
It's like,
You know,
oh.
that was
You know
hardcore.
what was- surprising to me when they showed Rim's backstory, and maybe no one cares about this but me. When they showed Rim's backstory, there was a single shot of her in front of the mansion that showed another maid character, who's a maid character from a few arcs in the future.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'll have to go back and watch that one again.
The single shot.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's fun. That's good to know. They're
That's
priming us. Show us the character before they're
That's
relevant.
cool.
It's a good way to do it. So we're coming up on time. We have 9 more minutes. Who would you? Well, hold on. Who would you recommend?
Fuck.
Actually, forget it. Best girl. Who's the best girl? Because we should talk about that. Buck.
I think
Buck
can
is best
agree-
girl.
I think I can agree with Puck as best girl,
Puck is best girl.
but waifu.
Oh my
Friends.
god.
Why would Puck not be best waifu?
He sleeps a lot.
Puck's like
No, but
Puck's like married to Amelia, basically.
Yeah.
Like, Amelia's not.
Puck
I
is.
mean,
You also you can't
There
you
is
can't
no
be
father,
both
that's
best
kinda
girl
creepy.
and waifu at the same time. So Puck is definitely best girl. Waifu, that's really tough. I feel like 90% of people are going to say Rem.
Patrice.
Rem.
Patrice.
I want to pick cat guy. Huh?
I choose
Troa
Patrice.
says Rem for waifu.
Yeah. It's hard to not though. She's like really
Who
thoughtful.
is Atreus?
Patrice.
Oh, Patrice.
Oh, the
Oh, Petra?
No,
kid?
not Petra, not the kid. I don't
is
know.
it is it that's the is that the guy who does like
the
the
ground
spirit
dragon.
magic?
Oh, yeah.
Oh!
It's pretty fucking cool.
Ooh, that's
love
oh
it.
yeah, that's
Wait.
really good. That is really good. God,
And
yeah.
he protects, yeah, when things blow up.
If you're gonna run away with someone, like
Sam says Felix.
Felix. That's the
the cat healer.
oh god,
Yeah.
that was a weird
He even
character.
licks Subaru on the cheek. He's like, and
That was
nibbles
awkward.
His ear. Yeah, that was awkward. Well,
For Subaru.
I'm gonna.
mean, not for Felix.
God, I don't even know. I don't even know if I can pick waifu. I don't want to say Rem just because everybody's gonna say Rem
Yeah, that's fair.
because it's like, how do you not? She's like, I'm tempted to say Reinhardt
What?
because he's just like such a good guy.
Not the
No, he's
trap.
such a nice guy.
Like he's just
Also
a really
the most
nice
powerful
guy.
No.
character in the entire
Chaos.
show.
Super
Chaos,
powerful.
Not the trap.
The trap? Oh yeah. Well, we won't have that discussion. But I think probably Reinhardt. That's who I'm gonna go with.
Just such a nice guy.
Oh, I like
Responsible,
that
hardworking.
guy. I actually,
goes out
what
of
was
his
the
way.
other guy's name, the purple-haired guy.
The guy that's like
Oh,
one of the other
Julius.
knights. Julius.
Yeah, Julius. That was hilarious.
I
He's
feel like-
I hate you.
I feel like
and
I-
he
No.
shares his body
No.
with him.
That was like,
I get in arguments with
was-
him all the time.
yeah, no, that was a really like good, like enjoyable moment when they're like they're going on their horses together, and they're like, but I still hate you. I hate you too. All right.
All
And
right.
then, like us in the audience were like, they're bros.
They're
now.
bros.
They're like this.
They love each other.
After Julius beats him to a pulp, literally.
That was the Julius beating him up. By the way, was one of the scenes that they
Did a lot of
redid the
redoing.
Perspective on,
and a lot of
So
redoing
they-
of the artwork, and it does look a lot better, just because
Yeah.
it's I think better, more
Cleaner.
cleaner, a little bit more detailed artwork. But okay, so I think we've
I
decided
vote for the dragon.
Puck is waifu,
dragon.
or
I
Puck is
cannot.
best girl, and that's all that really matters.
Who's waifu?
Waifu's Patrice.
Reinhardt for me.
Patrice. I'm with
I do
Patrice.
think I do like Reinhardt as a
I do
candidate
like-
though.
But he's only
He's
in
a
like
nice-
the first and second arc. He's not really
Yeah.
in the third arc.
That's
Such
totally
a nice
fair.
guy though.
He's just
It's
such a
like-
good guy though. But okay, so
He appears in the second
Okay.
half trying to make things better, being like, Subaru, you
That's
should
true.
apologize and work things out.
okay, so with that being said,
And it's
so this is an interesting show with a lot of different facets. Mostly mystery is a major one. Time travel obviously is an important element of that. Who would you recommend this show to, if you were going to recommend it to somebody, which I think is very likely to happen?
I did it to you.
Hey, that's true. I think
No
both,
one was scared.
both
you
of you
were,
guys.
I mean, bad was sad or I can't speak. Bad thought you weren't gonna like it. So
did he?
Did I think that?
yeah, you
What did
kind
I-
of did.
So
you
What
weren't
did I
sure.
say?
You were like, I don't know.
What did I say?
Subaru's
You don't know.
Subaru's an asshole. He was for a few episodes.
I did say I couldn't remember because I also my memories were colored because I read so
Fair.
far in the novel, so I couldn't remember the show very well.
You were unsure whether he'd like it.
Yeah.
And I actually had no idea if you'd like it or not. I was just really hoping.
I
you would.
think also it really colors people's perspective.
I'm just like a
that
sourpuss,
The
huh?
first half and the second half are so different.
I
like-
didn't like it.
It's hard to remember what the first
I'm
half
like
is
with
like.
Little
Given
Witch
the second.
Academia. So. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I
didn't mean
agree with
to
that.
talk over
The first and
Go
second
ahead,
half.
Bad.
Also, did you know
Sorry.
in the manga there's an extra scene we don't get?
Oh
in
my
the
God.
Anime.
Guess what? We didn't watch the manga.
In the manga,
Bad.
Subaru, you know the guy with the helmet who's shirtless, who's like the nasty sadistic red lady.
Yep.
Who's a candidate?
Yes.
The shirtless guy who wears the helmet talks. God, I don't remember his name. Talks to Subaru in the carriage, and tells Subaru that he is also from Japan.
You did tell me
That's
that.
an interesting twist.
Right? That is interesting, right? So maybe we'll get more of that in the second season. Real quick, who are you going to recommend this to? New people, first time watchers of anime. Maybe would you do? I definitely do. I don't think I'd do first time watchers because it can be a little bit brutal
It's
at times.
much
Big
more.
questions.
They're very genre aware. They're very
Yeah, if they like
like,
time travel, of course,
It's going to be stronger the more isekai they've seen.
that's fair. Yeah, no, that's absolutely fair.
Sci-fi isekai kind of stuff, even if it isn't Japanese, but like they like that like time travel, like Star Trek, going
Right.
back and having to repeat yourself over and over again.
Well, probably anything. Anybody who just likes manga and has watched or has watched anime before is probably going to like ReZero, just because it has some action, it has some mystery, it has unique, interesting characters. It has a lot of stuff in it. Probably, if I were to make like maybe one of the points that was not as strong as some of the other ones, I guess I would say the different sets, the different locations they were at, kind of generic. Manor, bunch of stuff in the manor, town, the village. Nothing like pops out as being like really unique. Maybe the library, that was really interesting.
Simplicity of it though helps
Yeah.
the
and it-
watcher build it in their own mind.
Yeah,
Like,
and I think that
okay,
helps with the
here's
mystery.
The village, here's the mansion, here's the capital. So it you kind of see the map, which is really nice.
Yeah,
Even though it's simple.
yeah,
Yeah, you
pretty simple, easy to process. You don't have to
Yeah.
think about
You
too many
definitely have
locations.
a better conception in ReZero of where things are in the world than you do in a lot of other isekai.
Yeah. So that being said, I do think that kind of leads into a show that does that specific thing really well, which is going to be, and I think we decided about it, the show that we're going to be doing next month, which is, hang on, I got it, Made in Abyss, which has one of the most interesting settings ever. Unique, weird, and fun. But
keeping me on edge. Good pause. I was like,
and go. You see, that was that director's cut. You had an extra second or two. Makes it.
I agree.
I also watching Made in Abyss a couple more times. Okay, we're not talking about Made in Abyss now.
We're not.
Oh, okay.
No.
We will, because I really want to, and it was also really good. And you should watch it.
Record these podcasts. We record like 3 of them in a row.
We watch like 10 anime, and then we'll
Wouldn't that be
record
awesome,
them. That wouldn't be bad.
No,
we
we
just
just
spend
live
like a
stream.
weekend. Okay, so that is one we're going to talk about next time. But because good stuff, we binged the whole thing. I might even watch it again just to refresh.
Same there.
You should watch it again. It's wonderful. Anyways,
Well, he hasn't seen it.
Final thoughts on ReZero. Is there anything else you want to add?
God, I hope the second season doesn't get delayed.
Oh, again, me too.
This was a good month for watching anime.
Mm-hmm.
Not because of new anime, but because of old anime.
Seriously, we watched a lot of old anime, but they were good.
Most of this is kid appropriate, and then it really wasn't.
Then it wasn't.
So this is not an appropriate one for children at all.
Made in Abyss, yeah. Although, definitely, I would say ReZero is also not appropriate for children.
But like the animation style, but we'll get into that. Never mind.
Right. So good. It was great. It was really wonderful. You should watch ReZero if you haven't seen it. Which, if you haven't seen it, why are you watching us talk about it? Weird, freak. Definitely watch it though. It was fun. It was good. It was a good mystery. If you like time travel, there's not enough time travel, and there's never enough time travel. Go watch it. Manny or Helen, anything else to say?
It was great.
Big.
Watch it.
I love it.
You're big.
I love. Am I big? I did.
Yeah, you're big.
Bad. See, it's got me confused. You can't bring it up every time because then I'm like, wait, he's big and I'm bad.
No, I was getting all
I'm big and he's big. Okay.
It doesn't help.
Thank you for joining us, guys. Join us next time. That's going to be the 4th of July. Oh my God, it's going to be on the 4th of July. Can we do that? Is that allowed? Are you going to be able to do that? No.
I don't know.
Okay.
4th of July.
Yeah, that's on the 4th of July.
Oh.
Ooh.
We have a thing. Don't we have a thing?
I think.
Oh my gosh, we could push it back so we have more
I
time
could.
to rewatch.
I could make some calls, and we could just push back that 4th thing if you wanted. We can delay it a day.
Push to the following.
Following. Okay, so that means it's going to be the 11th of July.
Okay.
11th of July. Oh man, that's so far away.
Should we do it sooner?
American
We'll do it
holiday.
sooner 'cause
Actually,
we've all seen it.
I actually think that's a better idea because we've all seen it.
Except for Sam.
So we will be doing it then. That's the 27th of June.
That's fair. And that's towards the end of the month.
That's towards the end of the month
works.
anyways. We will not be doing a Americans. 27th June, we'll be talking about Made in Abyss. Go watch it. It's delightful, and we're going to talk about it. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a lovely night. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
He's